Granger.
Hello there.
Well, hello to you too. Welcome to
How
the world of whatever this is.
you are? I just noticed that your name is a lovely name, Leland Granger Neeley. Would that be?
Ah, yeah, that's my. I'm really a woman, you see, and that's my wife,
That's
Leanne.
your wife. Well, let's make sure that we give her lots of credit. Thank you, wife, for getting you here to us today.
Absolutely, she does all the work for me. If it weren't for her, I wouldn't be able to do anything.
Hi.
Oh, I
There she
love
is.
it.
There she is, right there.
Hi.
Hi.
How
Hi,
are you?
everyone. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. This is Ted Neeley, the actor of the Jesus Christ Superstar musical, the original film that aired back in 1973.
Well, we shot it in '72. It came out in '73. Yes, it
Yes,
took us
and you
5 years to shoot it.
can you explain that? And I just and before we get started, I want to tell everyone we brought Ted here today because he's doing something really special this weekend. He is coming to the Temecula Valley Film Festival here in Temecula at Temeku Cinemas, and he is going to be airing the film for us. And we're so excited. We get to hear your story. We get to
Oh,
hear all about this journey you're on. If I'm not mistaken, you're out touring right now with the
yes.
film, right?
Yes, we do screenings. Frank and I do screenings all over the country. It's a wonderful experience, and I can't believe that after all this time, so many people are still interested in the movie. It's just amazing. And it's
Well,
so
I
many
mean, talk
generations
about that. Like, what's the
on.
phenomenon, do you think?
Beg your pardon?
What's the phenomenon? Why do you think we're still into it 50 plus years later?
Honestly, it is because every generation has passed it on to their children
Yeah.
all this time. And I can't tell you what amazing experience it is to have a family of, say, 5 generations come in and see the film again and again and again. They just,
Yeah.
I,
I mean,
I think I'm dreaming.
can you talk a little bit about, I mean, after 50 years of playing this main character, playing Jesus and telling this story, what does it personally mean for you, not to play the character, but the story itself? Why do you feel that is such a generational bridge?
Yes, I think there are so many elements I could say that contribute to that. But the main thing is the way Tim Rice wrote the lyrics for all the songs. He's brilliant, just like everything the man does is incredible. Same way with whatever that guy's name is that he worked with. I don't remember that.
Andrew Lloyd Webber?
Andrew Lloyd Webber. The two of them together did this, and nobody was interested in it during to becoming a film.
Yeah. Can you
Literally.
talk about that? That's such a fascinating story that I don't think a lot of people realize.
Well, the bottom line is Norman Jewison, our magnificent director. I'm sure you've heard his name. He's been around forever, but bless his heart, he passed recently. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
when that first Brown album came out, he fell in love with everything about it. He got the rights granted to do the film himself. He wrote the screenplay based upon the lyrics of the songs. And
Yeah.
Tim's point of view and Norman's collaborative point of view, it's a story about the last 7 days in the life of the man called Jesus, based on the opinions of his friends and his foes. And that's the whole thing. That guy then named Norman Jewison copied Tim Rice's word for word and took us all to Israel to make the film. He could have done it in any desert, took us all to Israel for the whole time. And it was toward the end of the 6 Day War in Israel
Yeah.
back then, yes. And Mr. Jewson had to wait a long time to get us all out there because the war kept going on and on and on. So we go there, and the war is supposed to be over. But Mr. Jewison, the first day we got there, he said, I know all of you haven't been in front of a film camera except for our man who's playing pilot, Barry Denon. So I just want you to know there are a couple of things that a director says on and off all day, every day. One is action, and one is cut. Action means hit your mark. Cut means the scene is over. And he had a cup of coffee, right? He picked up to get a cup of coffee drink. And that one of our actors who was an apostle, He,
Uh-huh.
he said, "Pardon me, Mr. Jewison, but if you don't mind, I'm a little confused here. You said uh, if you say action, we hit our mark. Which one of us is Mark? That's how
Love
smart.
it.
That's how smart we weren't, you know." So Norman Jewison was the kindest man in the world, and Tim Rice and Andrew. They again, without them, it never would have happened. And we
I owe a
all,
lot to them. They have inspired us so much. It's such a
oh,
cool series of content that they were making at a time, very prolific.
yes, and keep in mind that every day, in addition to action and cut, he would be sometimes say, "Hit the dirt," because here would come the planes flying over us, bombing the borders. They didn't bother us because we didn't have anything they wanted. We're but Dead Sea Negev area right there for the whole film. It was amazing, and I'll
And
never
his
forget.
reason for what was his reason for being in Jerusalem? Like what, to be in Israel and do it there. What was his
Well,
thought
he
process?
wanted all of us, especially because we were all unknown, except for Barry Dennen. Barry Dennen had just done Fiddler on the Roof with Mr. Jewison before this one. Yeah. Anyway, so he wanted us to be able to feel the essence of who we were pretending to be. And he could not have been more correct. Literally walking in that sand, and seeing all that. We didn't know. I didn't know if I was walking in Jesus's footsteps or the devil's. Who knows?
Okay,
Oh,
so
I'm so sorry for that. Oh,
that's okay. It's why we pre-record, right? So we can pause and pretend that never happened. The
yes.
joy of the one thing I learned as a theater kid that was so hard for me to understand when I went to TV was this art of being able to stop and start.
Yeah.
I was like, in the theater world, that's not a thing. You show up and you go, and you till it's over, right? Like something goes wrong on stage, it was part of the plan. Like you don't get
Yeah,
to
right.
pivot.
Well, I'm so sorry that happened, and hopefully we'll carry on, and that
Yes,
won't happen again. Okay.
absolutely. Okay, so I was just saying to you, what was, why do you think he took you guys to Jerusalem to do this film?
Literally, what I was saying about the fact he was telling us what he was expected from the cast, but knowing none of us had been in front of a camera except for Barry, he was being very polite, and he couldn't have been more gentle and helpful all the way through. So what I was saying about that whole thing is, he wanted us to be able to be supported by every possible thing that could be there because we'd never done a film before, you see. And that was over in less than a week because everybody in the cast had been in Superstar, either on Broadway or on national tours. Carl Anderson and I did almost 2.5 years of touring of
Mhm.
the Superstar. After we were in the Broadway show, they decided to do a national tour, and they asked Carl and I to do that and keep the show going, and we did it. And it's amazing. I still can't believe it. Everything about this film is a miracle for me and my family. My wife and I met in Israel while we were making the film.
No
She
way.
she is a dancer, one of the dancers in the film. That's how we met. She was in the National Ballet of Canada, danced with Baryshnikov and Nureyev and all of those wonderful people. I'm a
Mhm.
screaming rock and roll drummer from Texas. What's the chances our paths would ever have crossed had we not been in the film?
Oh, I love that. That's so sweet. Oh
It
man.
gave me a life, literally, and a
So you
family.
two have gotten to do this whole journey side by side?
Yes, yes. And he was so helpful the whole time. He would always kind of give me a nudge. If I did anything wrong, an elbow would hit me in the ribs. So
Nice. Now, okay, let's say that you're talking to the next generation of potential viewers of this project, and we want to pass
Mhm.
it on from generation to generation. And, this is the story of the last 7 days of Jesus's life. And we are showcasing that from the point of view of these creators. And it was in a time, what was life like? It's such a different way of telling that story than what you would learn in many other forms. But the way that you guys told it is so celebratory, and the music lasts and transcends. So if you were to present this to someone who didn't know anything about the film,
Right.
what would you say to them
I
as
would
to why
say,
they should come?
I would say, what you're going to see literally is a, shall we say, modern opinion of how this whole thing happened that Jesus was put hung on the cross. What made that happen? And that's exactly what it is. You see from every point of view how certain people didn't want him to be there because they thought he was going to ruin everything, and all the rest of them thought, oh, he's perfect. Yes, he was. So technically, the war that was going on in Israel at the time was the essence of creating that war 2,000 years ago. Disappointments, disagreements, fear, whatever, Uh, and Mr. Jewison cast all of us because he, excuse me, his original idea that he put on the screenplay that he wrote from Tim's lyrics, blah 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 blah. When he finished, he sent it to all of the movie studios that he had worked with, made awards and all that for years, and he sent a note saying, "Please read this when you can, and let's have a meeting and see if we can work it out." So
Yeah.
that happened. He had the meetings. He went to everybody he had worked with before, and he told us this story the first week we were in Israel. He said, generally, they all said what I'm going to tell you right now. Hi, Norman. How you doing, buddy? We know we love you and love your work, but this you're wasting your time. And Norman's going, here comes the joke. Yeah, okay. And he said, why do you say that? He said, the man at the studio said, Norman, nobody's interested in seeing a rock opera movie, and especially not if it's about religion. So just, we're not interested. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, buddy. Get something better. Okay. So he was upset, but he went and got five of his buddies, and they all got together and decided to do it themselves. And basically, his theme was, I'm going to prove you wrong. That was Norman. He did every day.
He's a man after my own heart.
Oh, oh, and when he did finish it and send it to them, they all wanted to distribute it for him.
I mean, that's such a true testimony to the actual script, like it's the story that just keeps going. It's like, no, I have to make this film. I
Yeah,
have to take it on tour,
yes,
that
yes.
determination when everyone else is like, you're crazy. Why would you do this? You're like, thank God, literally, that he's the guy who's pushing this forward,
Yes, yes,
That's so
yes.
cool. Now, I have one question for you. Aside from playing the character, how would you say this film has impacted your professional career once you took on that role? Did you just stay in that lane, or did you want to do other things throughout your career, or did you just say, no, I found my calling and I want to
Well, I
stay
have to
here?
tell you that I understand everything you said, and I have to tell you straight from my heart, I had no idea what would happen because he told us that story. And so we're all going, well, at least we're in one film, maybe, you know. So when it finished, Mr. Jewison took us to London so we could do a soundtrack again, matching the lip sync of what we did in while shooting the film. So we
Yeah.
actually recorded it three different times. Once to go over there and do it, and then come back, and so everything about that I felt was a miracle. Every day I was thinking, "Am I dreaming? Oh my God, what is this?" And Norman Jewison made us feel like we'd been in movies with him, together with him for years. You see,
Yeah.
wonderful man. So the thing about it is, when it did come out, oh my goodness, everybody went nuts over it. It just was so successful. And Carl and I both got nominated for Academy Awards for these things. We didn't
That
win them, but at least we got a nomination. Yeah, we
nominations
got
count, sir.
nominated.
They count.
Right,
Totally.
right.
They
So
do.
this changed my life completely for the better, and especially because of the fact that I met Leanne there. And the whole time we were in Israel, we didn't even have a chance to sit down and have a cup of coffee because Carl and I were on the set almost every day. So
Yeah.
when we finished the film, then when we got to London to do the post recording, then that's the first time we got to sit down and have lunch together. So anyway, so all of that, why I said it changed my life completely, is I had no idea that I would be still doing this in some form 52 years later.
That's really cool.
I've met so many families, the last screening tour that Frank and I did was just 2 weeks ago, and there were so many full families there. There was one family that there were 5 generations of because they had several young children with them. And but oh my God. And they always watch it every Easter and every Christmas, and the children are singing the songs. And uh,
Well, and I
look,
think that's part
all
of what
right.
I was going to segue into next is talking about how you transitioned from like one generation to the next, because I know everyone interprets things different, right? And I think it's subjected to the time that you watch the film. For
Yes,
me, at the time in my life, all I want to do is be on stage, and I think my mom was so thankful that the music I was choosing to blare on my little PA system in my room
yeah.
was this, it was really
Oh
wholesome,
my goodness, really?
and and I just, it was a passion for us theater kids, and my mom was like, well, that's actually really wholesome and loving, and okay, cool,
Yes,
yes. So
yes,
I think that same, getting to see our next generation of kids welcome it so much and love the story from that perspective, and getting to learn the stories without having to, like, get their own spin on it. They get their own black
yes.
box theater version. But what would you hope that people take away from that when they go into their home and they watch it on Easter and they watch it on Christmas? What do you hope their heart is full of when it's done?
They are so impressed and so hoping that they can see it somewhere in a movie theater and all that, because they watch it on TV and everything. And it's so beautiful when you see, say, 5 people from the same family come into the theater, and it's all different generations, and some of them are carrying babies with them. You see, so it's just I'm the luckiest man alive. Now, Carl passed away first, and then Barry Denon, who played Pilate, passed
Mm.
away. And just recently, Bob Bingham, Caiaphas, oh, gentleman, that magnificent voice, he just passed as well. And it's really sad because when we do the screening tours, we always take as many of the cast as possible with us.
Oh, how nice.
And we
Yeah.
keep getting smaller and smaller. But the people keep coming, and they sing along and they dance, and they come dressed in costumes. There's
Yeah.
one guy who when we go back east, he's I think he's from upper New York. But when we're anywhere back east, he Pilate was his main character. He is Pilate when he comes to see the show, dressed full costume.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, so
So cool.
everything is positive. We've not had one negative thing whatsoever.
I love that. I'm so thankful to hear that too. So this weekend, Friday night, the doors
Woohoo!
open at 6 p.m. Tickets are still available for you guys to bring your family. Come out
Ah,
and support this film. And Jeremy, am I correct? I believe I am correct that you could still get tickets if you would like. Is that
yeah,
right?
yes, yes.
Yeah.
You get them through our website.
Okay, awesome. So tickets are still for sale. Doors open at 6 o'clock. Starting at 7, you are going to be answering some questions, and or not necessarily answering questions, but telling us about the film and giving us a bit of insight before the film starts. Is that right?
I love that. That's what we do when we do the screenings. Absolutely.
Well,
And
I will
will,
be
will
there
you
myself, so I
will
look
you be
forward to.
there? Will you be there on the stage with me?
I will be in the room letting you do your thing, but if you want me on stage, you got to talk to Jeremy.
Well, it's entirely up to you.
I will be there. I'm so excited to get to see the film and get to watch it with you. I think that is so special. There's another gentleman that's going to be joining you who's got a cinematography list of credits that is just
Uh-huh.
out of this world. So I'm excited for this really cool night of talking about these great films and how they were made. And it's
Yeah.
inspiring for us as young filmmakers to know that when you get a good one, it can
Ooh,
be a good run.
yes. Well, what we do when we normally do, first thing we do in the day, of course, is load up the theater and all that for what we do. And then we have the VIP experience, which is
Mhm.
people who come in and want to sit next to each one of the actors. So, and they come and we do an hour and a half of what you're talking about, answering questions, telling stories, all that. So I'm wide open for whatever you'd like to do. So I'll get to meet some new folks and be in a place for the first time and hope to come back next year.
Oh, yes. I love it. I'm very excited. Well, I will see you on Friday night And we look forward to chatting more when I'm in person.
Oh, that's wonderful. I,
All right,
I,
Ted.
I, I just want to thank you so much for doing this and
Yeah.
can't wait to see you up close and personal.
Sounds good, Ted. Have a good one. We'll see you on Friday.
Thank you so very much. Bye bye for now.
Bye bye for now.